Hello, and welcome to The Last Romantic, and this is a review of episodes 1 and 2 of Wandavision, Marvel's Cinematic Universe's first Disney Plus series, and their ambitious attempt to adapt various Marvel stories and mix it into a thematic, visually and stylistically, from old sitcoms, particularly starting in the black and white era. I am your host, the Fat Mantis. Please remember to subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Remember to share this with your friends, man. Don't keep me and all this beautiful content a secret. Now let's get started. Now, it all starts off with the fact that it's two back-to-back, about 25-minute episodes. And a lot of people were complaining that they are full-on sitcoms, and that is definitely episode 1 is a full-on sitcom. It has very little hints of anything, and it is absolutely an old school black and white sitcom. But the best part about that is that it is actually funny. I had a really good time. I actually found myself giggling. I was actually writing down while watching it what my favorite lines are, but there got too many to actually repeat, so I'm not even going to hit you up with those. I'm just going to say there's enough things to actually make you giggle and laugh. I don't know. I don't even watch a lot of old sitcoms like that. So I think they were successful on that. However, I beg to differ about the second episode. The second episode is rife with Easter eggs, hints, and also supernatural events that make it very clear that this genre is not just a comedy. Now, I will say, second episode definitely had that long magic act thing, which was funny and cute and wholesome. I'm going to say that this show does a lot of amazing things, and one of the things that it finally allows us to feature is the range of Paul Bettany. He's able to access his range when he's pretending to be a human, a soon-to-be father, a husband, a nice guy, the way he interacts with his neighbors. He's able to do both comedy and drama across the board, and I was very impressed with that. He has a lot of work other than Vision, and he can play more than a robot. He's able to finally prove it in a mainstream property, so I think that's kudos to that. And when I say acting-wise, Elizabeth Olsen absolutely nails it as well. Now, I'm gonna have to say, she's finally come into her own right in terms of being a sex symbol. Now, so far in the MCU, the Scarlet Witch has always been, well, you know, the chick who kind of keeps to herself, and she's on the sidelines, and everyone's looking at ScarJo and not looking at her, and she kind of hides under her leather jacket, and she has a boyfriend already, so you don't bother hitting on her. You know, she's been that girl. But in this, she is just sexy in almost every scene that she is. It heightens her beauty, but her sex appeal and all these things, and the fact that she's a talented actress does not hurt the situation. Now, I really love that she's coming into her end. The rumor is that at the end of this, her character is gonna go away or be demolished. Not at the end of WandaVision, but the trilogy WandaVision is starting off. For those of you who don't know, it's WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and then Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. It's possible she'll be a villain and be defeated. Who knows, though, because Marvel seems to, they're doing a good job of making us guess. We never know what they're adapting, and we never know what they're doing, but they seem to be doing it correctly across the board, and I like what I am seeing here. So now we're going to have to go into what the theories are. Now, in the first episode, like I said, it was a pure comedy. There was one moment of hellish fear going on when when Vision's boss begins to choke at the dinner table. And it was a very odd, the way the wife was acting and the way everyone was acting and the way everyone went back to normal after it. It is hinting at certain things. And I think further hints happen in the second episode when people start acting like demons or sickos. And so here's my theory. First off, I believe that Wanda is experiencing catabasis. For those of you who don't know, catabasis is the part of an epic poem or story when our hero descends into the underworld, aka the world of the dead. This is very common in Greek mythology and other mythologies, but I believe that's what it is. I believe she went into a journey into the afterworld to rescue the soul of the Vision. She wants the soul of the Vision back, and on her way back, she got trapped or caught or forgot who she is or whatever, but she's not fully out of this dimension, and she's stuck there, and she's enjoying every bit of the good parts, which would mean that everyone around her is probably dead. I'm assuming that that gentleman is dead, his boss, and that the way he actually died in real life was probably choking. And next we have Monica Rambeau. So she has appeared in this. She's giving off the name, I believe it was Geraldine. And I actually believe that this pocket dimension of hell that Wanda has accidentally created with her powers, it is possible that SWORD, and it's very obvious they're monitoring this dimension, wanted to send an agent in, maybe to rescue Wanda and help pull her out. However, their agent, Monica Rambeau, also got confused while she's in this alternate dimension, and she too is forgetting who she is. It's a fascinating situation, but it's building a lot of questions, and I'm willing to believe that I probably might be wrong on 90% of these guesses. And I actually like when Marvel or any comic book property actually does this. Being well versed in comics doesn't necessarily give you the answers here. So even though I've read a lot of Avengers stories, particularly Scarlet Witch and the Vision, I will say it could go either way. Now, brings us to the Beekeeper. Who is this Beekeeper? Now, if you notice, this is the part where Wanda's been kind of terrorized by the sounds this person is making underneath the sewers, and he comes out, and she's like, no. And she's able to rewind time and enjoy this moment that she has with the Vision. We're going to get into those moments in just a second. But I believe that the Beekeeper is either Mephisto, the Lord of Hell in Marvel comic books, or he is an agent of SWORD also trying to help her, and she just doesn't want to be woken up from her fantasy. But it is interesting that there's this fear of this one gentleman. However, I am willing to bet that he is really the Lord of Hell, and it's probably going to end up being played by Evan Peters, even though people have actually lightened that scene just to see if they could see his face. It is clearly not Evan Peters when you lighten his darkened face. However, it's possible that this was filmed before Evan Peters was cast, and they didn't think people would be psycho enough to put it through editing and be that meticulous trying to figure stuff out. Right? They could just be making a TV show the way normal TV shows are made. Who knows? Now, I want to get to another thing that I hope that people are not disrespectful about. This show is filled with heartwarming moments, and it is very much about love. You feel their love, and they have, at the end of each episode, I'm assuming this is going to be a trend, loving moments. Particularly, I love the moment when they're sitting on the couch, and they're like, we don't have wedding rings, and she creates their wedding rings. It was so beautiful to see their hands next to each other, and I really am feeling that these two people are seriously in love. They're doing a great job of selling this, and that's what the entire series is hinging on. Now, we live in a cynical age, and I think a lot of reviewers are going to be like, it's stupid, it's idiotic. I think it's lovely, so F you. Another tender moment was when she creates her pregnancy. That moment where she's in a delusional state and she thinks she has kids, and he tries to tell her she doesn't, and instead they kiss, and when they're done kissing, she's pregnant. It was such a beautiful scene, and I like the rewind that brings us back to that moment. I'm hoping for more of this. I know we're all waiting for the end battle. I think there's probably going to be a 2-episode battle at the end of the season. It's some sort of epic, all hell breaks loose. That's what we all want to see in a superhero movie or television show. I totally dig it. I'm just saying, I really hope they don't lose this theme of love and tenderness, which is something that is new and very different for superhero genre, and they're pulling it off. Earlier, we all watched Wonder Woman 1984, which was very much a romance and very much about love. And unfortunately, I have to say, even though I liked Wonder Woman, Marvel is once again besting them at the idea of showing superheroes in love. Now, ultimately, I will say this is a riveting, new, dynamic show that leaves me craving more. Not because they didn't give me enough Easter eggs or enough hints. It's just a good show, and I can't wait for next week. I give these opening episodes a 95. But now I gotta take off. I got all sorts of things to do. I hope you enjoyed Wandavision. If you have any thoughts on it, or my analysis, or any theories, please let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, certainly share it, and remember to subscribe to the Voice of the Fat Mantis for more MCU reviews and other shenanigans. Until next time, ciao for now.